So please share the link with your classmates. Okay, fine. Fine. So the new set of questions I've updated. String problems continued. So you guys can explore these problems because a lot of questions will be based on strings. So you should try all the possibilities of working with the strings. Okay. To get this is not theory subject to get solution and buy it. Okay, so understand the coding. Even if I give you the solution also, until you understand and work, you can't pass the competitive exams. So no matter, even if you solve 100 questions by getting the solutions from others, until you understand, you can't clear the exams. So it's a very silly question that you are asking. Fine. So I've added 8 more questions in the week 3 string problems. Once you complete the week 2, you go to week 3. So I won't remind every time again and again. So it's your job to check if there are any new questions in the Moodle. And I'm preparing arrays and 1D and 2D array questions also. I'll enable in 1 or 2 days. So these questions will be available up to next Saturday. Okay. Up to next Saturday. Got it? Next Saturday. So I think 1 week is more than enough to solve the string problems. Then after that, I'll enable in 1 or 2 days. I'll enable this arrays 1D and 2D array problems. Today I'll discuss about a few questions arrays 1D and 2D problems. Then those questions will also be enabled, which you can complete by next Jan 3rd. Okay. So I'm giving you enough content to work on as I won't be available for next week sessions. Okay, I'll be on vacation, but I'll just make sure that you guys have enough programs to practice and work on. Got it? So your job is to be serious. Whatever the doubts you're getting, you should ask personally, come and meet us. A lot of students thought Moodle is not for them, only for the registered students. So it's a very, unfortunate that you people are believing someone's rumors and thinking whatever you want to. So you should ask the doubts, right? So Moodle is for everyone, whether you are attending session or not. Moodle account is for everyone. Everyone can practice it, right? So we are removing the students who are not working. So even after 2 weeks also, we will remove the students who have not attempted the questions. So I want at least out of 10, 5 questions should be attempted. I'm not telling every question should be solved. At least you should constantly log into the Moodle, try to check what questions sir has added, try to attempt. So try to give honest, work on that. Then only you can improve and you'll be able to clear the product batch exam. A lot of students are not knowing the basics, so they're getting a lot of syntax errors when they are doing the competitive exams. So even if I give you the solutions, until you try on yourself, you won't understand it. So please make sure that you try on your own in your code if you have any doubts, right? Whatever the doubts you are getting or logical mistakes you are doing in your code, you can discuss with me. That is a communication that you have to do one and one, right? Until you discuss with me, I won't be able to help you. So this is a very important thing that you have to do from now on. Got it? So today we will be discussing about few problems based on arrays, 1D array, 2D array. So we'll introduce array concept. Already I think I discussed about array. 2D array we will start with. Okay. And before that, please go through this. Few people were asking, sir, where to refer the theory content. So I think this is a very good site for learning basics, right? So Java, w3schools.com. So you'll get all the basic knowledge from here. So whatever problems you are solving, try to keep this website as a reference, and you can also refer the YouTube videos which I've sent and uh, textbook that I've uploaded. All right. So this math library also is very important. Please explore this. You might require this in some problems. So math library, how to find out minimum of 2 numbers, maximum of 2 numbers. Square root using math dot square root function. Then this will give you absolute value. I think I added one question based on this, correct? So you have to return the absolute value between the 2 numbers. That means positive number. So if you pass negative number to it, it will convert that into positive, right? Then there is random library just like Python. Okay. On this math dot reference, you get all the list of functions that you need to learn from the math library. Expression. This also we have covered in Python. So it is similar to Python library. Okay, regular expressions, meta characters. So you have to practice here. When the questions are not there in Moodle, so your prior work should be there. Then definitely you will be able to get some confidence when you are attending the questions, right? So please go through this site for the basic reference. Okay. Discuss one question based on your submission. So these questions are very important. Understand. Try to at least attempt them. If you're not able to, you can discuss with me. Not an issue. Understand the test cases, right? What is the constraint? So because I'll be adding a lot of constraints. So what is the length of the string, right? So this question is a bit confusing. Please understand this big factorial question. So what is that requirement is? You have to, but the output range should be within 10 parsecs. So obviously, when you keep on taking the factorial, suppose if I take 20 factorial, it crosses the integer range, correct? The output value goes beyond the integer range. So to overcome this, what we have to do is, for every iteration, when you are taking the, finding the factorial, if your final result crosses the integer range, so always you have to take the mod with this. So why only this value is, it is closest value to your 2 power 31, which is integer range. So when you take the mod with this value, so your output value always be below the integer range, within the integer range. So it will avoid overflowing the integer range. That is what I've given the clue. So you have to understand what is this clue. And I have also given appropriate message you have to print if the user enters any negative number. Suppose if the user enters any negative number, non-negative number, you have to messages. So for this, please explore, try and catch block in Java, because with this, it will be very easy. If you want to print the error messages, use Java exception concept. Are you learning already in your subject, Java exceptions? So try and catch block will be very helpful because you need not to manually check for invalid input, invalid message. For example, if I'm asking for integer input, if somebody enters string data, then I should be able to throw a message instead of checking with the invalid range. For example, some people will be using Python library function in string functions like matches, input dot matches, whether it is 0 to 9. So no need to do all that. You can just directly put that inside the try and catch block. So it will automatically take care whether the user is entering integer or any other value. Okay. Such errors will be there in while you are doing coding. Suppose here, what is happening? Your array length is 3, but you are trying to access 10th index. So you need not to check for manual error, right? You can put this code inside try and catch block. So exception is a generic class where it will handle all the exceptions, right? So if you are trying to do something which is not allowed, automatically it will go to catch block and it will print the error message what you are customizing here. Then finally keyword is also very important. So that means it will always execute irrespective of whether you are getting the error or not. Finally will always execute. Okay, then there is a concept of throw keyword. You can automatically throw the errors that you want to using throw keyword, right? For example, if the age is less than 18, you are customizing the error message. Access denied, you must be at least 18 years old. So you are throwing the new arithmetic exception if the age is less than 18. Then for this, you need not write a catch block, correct? So it will automatically handle. So throw keyword also sometimes will be helpful for you. So this is the basics of exception that you should have. Anyway, when you come for the training, in detail, we will be talking exceptions. So I don't want to go in depth here because as of now, like for all the problems, but you should have an idea. If it is an invalid input, how to check it. So array index out of bound error, right? How to check that. You should have the clarity. So you can explore try and catch block before solving the problems just to match our edge cases. We call them edge cases. That means you have to think about all the possible errors that you might get during the coding. So whether it is asked or not, you have to think about the errors. Okay. So I had asked one question. Similarly, big digit sum. So if you see this test case, the length of the input is very big, right? So obviously your int, long int cannot handle this. One solution is you can use big integer, which I already discussed in the last session. But I have mentioned the output result should be within the integer range. But length of the input can go up to 10 power 3. So you need not to use big integer for this because the output should be within the integer range. Big integer should be used when only when the value crosses the beyond long int range, correct? So in this case, what you have to do, you have to read the data as a string, correct? Then when you are reading the data as a string, convert each character from the string into integer, then submit. So in that way, your input length, you are not going to worry about. But apart from that, I've given some edge cases. So that is, here I've added extra space. Here I've added special characters. So you have to try to print the appropriate messages for these kind of test cases. So if there is a space, you have to remove that space. And if there is a string in the number, you have to print only digits are allowed. If there are special characters, this special separate message should come. Let me check if anyone else tried it. Done some very big code. I don't know whether they understood this code or simply copied from somewhere. But please understand whatever you are writing because I'm seeing very complicated codes. I don't know whether they're really understanding it or writing. So this code, I can feel it is a genuine code. See, as soon as I see the examples or your submissions, I can easily make out whether it is copied from somewhere or whether it is your honestly tried code. Okay. So simply for the sake of submission, don't do it because it will affect you guys only. During the exams, nobody is able to do it. But right now, everyone are submitting. So don't submit the answers just for my sake. Okay, understand? Do it for your sake. Got it? So in this case, he has not used any try and catch block, but you see manually is comparing. So if the character is greater than this range within the 0 and 9 range, if it is within that range, then he is converting that into character integer here. Then again he's checking if it is A and Z. Then if it is not, then he's checking this message, right? So it's a very simple code. So this guy has copied from somewhere, I think, I don't know, Rishabh Sai Reddy. So much big code is unnecessary, right? So illegal, special, I don't know. So maybe they are using AI for this. So even if you use AI, Karthikeya, ask them to see the YouTube link. Please forward my message, what I posted. Ask your CR to forward that link in your group. Those who cannot join, please ask them to check the YouTube link. Inform the CRs to forward. I already shared the YouTube link. So I'm just showing how you are. See, this guy has manually checked each special character. So this is also genuine code only, but he has to waste a lot of time for this. Correct or not? For this, he has to waste a lot of time. The reason is he is comparing every character one by one. Correct? It also takes a lot of time. So you should be able to write code in a way that it reduces your writing time. Correct? So this is a pretty good code where you are, see, to avoid the spaces, he is using trim function, then comparing integer, comparing alphabets, then he's printing the special characters not allowed, right? Here also you can check. So a simple same code has been tried in a different way, correct? So this is what matters. So when you're writing, yeah, that is the constraint is 10 power 17, but one of the test cases. Yes. So if it is 19 digit, what you have to do? Right? So if it is more than 19, you have to get not an Armstrong number. Simple. So you have to think how to overcome this problem. So you can personally beat me, I'll tell you what to do. Okay. So simple, you sort two, three ways, right? A same problem has been approached in different way. So people can easily understand whether you are writing by understanding or whether you are just copying from somewhere. So definitely don't do that. Otherwise, it's a waste work. Understand and try to implement from you on your own. Try to write some code, then you can take help of your friends, right? In your code, what is the error you have to solve. So I think first they tried using big integer, then it didn't work, then normal, right? Approach they have followed here. So there is an inbuilt function in Java, right? Character dot is digit. Then what she's doing here, converting string dot value of. First you have to convert this, extract the character, convert into string. Then this entire string you have to pass to value of so that it get converted into integer. So if I equal to string length minus one, system dot out dot print yes. What is, check why they are using this. So if else if character dot is alphabetic, so you can use this kind of function. If it is neither, if it is not an alphabet, then you can print the only digits are allowed. If it is alphabet, right? Else you can print last one, special characters are not allowed. So all this combination of conditional statements for loop, so you have to use even if you don't know, try and catch block, right? So what I have tried, I am showing you so that you people understand how to work with this. So this is my simple code, okay, using try and catch block. So you see there is no way within 10-15 lines you can complete this logic. So people are writing 100-line code, 20-line code, 40-line code by copying from somebody. So how does it help them? I don't know. So until and unless you are understanding it, it's fine. If you're not understanding it, simply completing the work means, I'm warning, I'm telling you it again, please don't do it because it won't help you in any way during the exam. Last week when I saw the product batch exam, only 100 people could cross the 100 marks. Only 100 people. Remaining 400 people not doing anything, not even able to solve syntax errors. Why? Because they practiced like that from past 6 months. His friend will execute, he will share the code, everyone will copy. Okay, so I'm telling this in training, we don't tell any student to not copy because it is your problem. So we keep every platform open. You will keep all AIs open. You will keep every resource open. Who wants to utilize them positively, learn from them, they will go ahead. Who wants to just copy paste, they will never go ahead. So please, I'm telling this specifically. I'm seeing the people facing the problem. So second year people, I have also seen a lot of submissions like that. So don't do that. It will affect your knowledge only because during the placement, you will not even try because you might have practiced for 3-4 months like that only. So definitely it will affect your during your examination. When you get error, you will get panic, you will make more errors. People will put semicolon for loops, it will go to infinite loop, it will give time complexity error. So within 2 hours, when you are solving, you have to be very confident. To get that confidence, your practice should be in a right way, right? So if you're doing copy paste work, then definitely during exam also, nobody will be there to help you. So please tell anyone who is also, and don't do that, who are working honestly, don't share your code unnecessarily. If they ask for suggestion, you can give the hints. I tried like this, I use this method, I use this logic. You can give the algorithm, you can give the steps, but don't share your code as it is to your friends. And as long as they are trying and they are getting some kind of error means, you can help them. But as long as they are not doing anything, you need not to support them. Okay, because they will become lazy day by day. So in this case, so I've just comment lined for your understanding. Just for converting your character to integer, there are 4 different ways. Yes or no? One is ch minus 0, then sum equal to sum1 plus integer dot parseInt. This is another method. Then integer dot parseInt string dot value. This is another way. Then character dot get numeric value. This is another way. I think I discussed these things in last session. So you should know these things. For just one conversion, we have multiple ways, correct? So that is a proper learning. So why I have comment line and sharing this? Because I want everyone to know how each students can execute the code on their own understanding. So somebody might have used this logic, somebody might have used this one, somebody might have used this one, correct? So within that, you should be able to understand whatever the logic that you are applying. So you should be in a position to explain that. And if you are getting the error, you should be in a position to solve those errors. So that is the proper learning. Okay. So what I'm doing here, simple program it is. So I'm just showing you can complete this question today. So reading each character, then storing it in another, right, local variable. Then we are checking inbuilt function. If character dot is digit inbuilt function, you should try to use. See, whenever you see the question, first to understand, can I apply any inbuilt function on that? Is there any existing library function that I can use? Can I apply that concept, right? So don't go directly to brute force approach. Okay, if character dot is digit, then sum equal to sum plus ch minus 0. Else if I'm checking if it is alphabetic. Some people have also used this one. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to understand, make you understand try and catch block. So this entire code comes under try block. Whenever I want to throw this error, if the character is alphabet, I'm throwing new exception, throw using throw keyword, throw new exception, only digits are allowed. Then otherwise I'm throwing another exception, special characters are allowed. This is a catch block which will handle the throwed message, right? So here e dot get message we are using. So this, what is the job of this e dot get message? Fetching the information from whatever the message that throw keyword is throwing, right? So e dot get message will fetch the specific exception that you are throwing. So in this way, you can use try and catch block without checking manually. Got it? So I'm just showing these things so that you reduce your complexity of the code. This question I was very thinking nobody has used the inbuilt function, right? So what is this question? Concatenation with a twist. That means so did I not change the description? Yeah. Okay. I've already executed this. Good to see. But I just wanted to show you. They're using a lot of complicated functions for this, right? So here substring you are using, then you are using replace, then you are checking manually all this, right? So to do this question, yeah, replace string. See, that's the problem because you don't explore the library functions. So based on the question, you should explore what is the probable library function I can apply. So for example, this person's code, you see, every index they are checking manually, right? So obviously this will take a lot of overhead on your submissions, right? So substring function, then up to that character they're extracting, then this will fetch up to index 1 to index 2. From there again, your substring you are taking from the remaining length. So it's fine, you are using all this. But and in the last session, I told you there is something called as getChar. Okay. There is a function called as getChar. So you can use this function. So your job will be much simplified, right? So what is this getChar? So I should directly use getChar, but you should have explored this library function, right? So getChar method simplifies this work for you. This is the starting index. This is the ending index. This is the array that where you want to copy the data. Then this is the array index from the destination array where you want to start the concatenation, right? So if you zero means by default, you will start pasting from the zero position. Suppose if you mention two means from the second character onwards, you will be concatenating the string. So nobody has used this particular method. Everyone have used very complicated submissions, right? So this is the understanding that you should have. For the maintain given question, is there any possibility to apply the existing library? Because you will get some hint, right? So the question is what? Concatenation, starting index, ending index, everything is given. So based on this hint, you have to explore if there is a starting index in the question, if there is an ending index in the question, is there any library function to concatenate the strings based on these values? So definitely you will be finding the required library. Got it? 1 minute. Now, class. Yeah. What happened? Okay. 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 So please use getChar for this. Try to reduce your complexity of the code because everyone have submitted in this way, right? This is much simpler actually compared to the others. I think he's written digit sum code for this. Okay. So hope you got a clarity, especially when you're solving string problems. So read the question first Can I simplify my code by using the existing library functions? If it is so, what library function I have to use? Whether I should use substring or replace or right any other index of right? Should I convert it to character array? That clarity you should have. So these questions will help you to get through the proper understanding of the basics. Okay. So what I wanted to talk about is arrays, right? So let us talk about array. Suppose if you already named your code in IntelliJ, you can still rename it. Suppose if I want to discuss about array basics of array or 2D array. I think 1D array we already started. Let us talk about 2D array. Or suppose right. Suppose if you want to rename the class name, so you can press Control Shift F6. You can change the name to the array example. So if you see, it is not allowing because your class name should not start with numbers, correct? So simultaneously, if you see here also, it is getting modified. With this, you can understand whenever you are trying to change the class name. Okay. Can anyone tell me how will you declare 2D array in Java? So you have to use int array name, correct? Let us create a matrix out of it. How will you initialize in flower brackets? Then obviously this is a first row. Again, that row has to come inside another bracket, correct? So I'm just talking about compile time initialization, right? So this is the compile time initialization of you. Correct. Yeah. A lot of people are giving this is the dynamic runtime initialization. Good. Okay. So what is how do you find the number of rows in the 2D array? Anyone? How will you find the number of rows? Here I don't know, right? Suppose I want to print how many rows are there because I've not declared it. I've directly initialized the values. How will you print the number of rows? Good. So matrix dot length, correct? So what is matrix dot length? So it will automatically fetch the length of the array. Based on what? It is based on what? Based on how many rows are there in your matrix, correct? Matrix dot length will fetch you number of rows. Then how will you fetch the column? Okay, good. So is it always matrix of 0? Can I write matrix of 1? Print this. Matrix of row dot length. See what happened is, can anyone tell me why I'm getting this output? Because I think that is last session, right? Last session, what is the code that I'm executing here? Date and time. So this you have to be careful. when you are practicing in these kind of tools. So you have to select the appropriate class that you want to execute, or right click and execute this button. Okay. If you use Shift F10, it will execute the previously executed code. Got it? So here what I'm getting 4 cross 4 because there are 4 rows, 4 columns, right? So can I write matrix of 4 dot length? Will it work? Why I'm getting this error? Because the maximum column size is 0, 1, 2, 3, but I'm trying to print fourth. So index starts from 0. So maximum row that I can mention is 0, 1, 2, 3. So basically, if you want to fetch the column length, you have to just pass the maximum value here based on the number of rows, right? So based on the number of rows, you can take any one particular row, you will get the same answer. Okay, so either 0, 1, 2, 3, anything is fine. So within that index, you should work on. Got it? So this is important, how to fetch the matrix values from the user, right? Then let us print now. So obviously, how will you print the matrix? First, you have to access the number of rows. Then you have to access the number of columns. Correct? I equal to 0, I is less than matrix dot length. Then I plus plus. Then what do we require? Int j equal to 0. J is less than matrix of 0 dot length. Correct? J plus plus. Fine. So how will you print the values? It's simple, right? So matrix of I comma j. Now I am getting this on the same line because we have missed the print. System dot out dot print. Println. This is just like your slash n, right? Where it should come. Still I'm getting like this. Yes, very good. So this you have to be very careful. Println means it will again each column, each row it will print in the new line. So you have to just use system dot out dot again. Kind of basics you should be able to understand. Still we are getting same. Where is the mistake identified? Yeah. So here it is println. See? So you should be able to understand the error. No, I'm just asking the question so that people should be able to identify the errors. Okay. So I am just checking how many of you are able to understand the errors. Okay. So now I'm getting the matrix. Now what is that I have to do? How will I add the space? Because I want every number should be separated by space, right? What you have to do? Concatenate the result with space, right? Matrix format. So this you have to be very careful. So this only many people were not doing in the exam when the question was product of two matrix. So they were getting output all on the same line, different line, no, proper order. So they were struggling to do this only in the exam. So those who are answering here, that means you people know the basics. Those who are still thinking, you have to learn. So I'll be testing your knowledge like this. I know things how to do. So I don't want to type everything and just make it like a one dimensional. So I am asking the question. So those who are interested. So obviously here what I can use, I can use print also. Does it work if I use print? Right. So either print or println, it's not matter. But where does it matter? Here. Here you cannot use println because every number you are printing on the different line. So here you have to use print. Here you can use println or print, doesn't matter. So these are the things that you should be careful. Though it is very basic thing, still people are struggling in this means that's what surprises me. One small error that you are not able to rectify during exams because you are panicking there, right? So let us try to do some other problem based on this. Now I'll keep typing. So like this, please give me the suggestions so that it becomes very interesting to learn. Okay. Now, so let me delete this. Comment line this. Jagged array. Personally, I have not explored what is jagged array. So right now I am just, I know the array concept. Maybe once I get the clarity, I will tell you. Okay. Right now I have not explored that. Have that in subject or what? So last session, somebody asked me how to print only this thing, right? So I just explored that later on. Yeah. So somebody asked me, right, sir, how to print without nanoseconds, without minutes, right? So these are also inbuilt functions are there. This is last session code only. I just explored it, and these are the inbuilt methods. So what is the output I'm getting? Only this I'm getting the full date, full time, correct? But when I'm printing this one, the last value, I'm getting only our data. I'm not getting the any minutes data also. So suppose if I delete this, now I'm getting the with a minute, right? So if you want to get up to the seconds, these are the functions you should be able to use. So now I'm getting with seconds. So local time dot now with seconds, with minute again. So with nano zero, if you do, so with seconds you can remove. Now we are getting exactly in our format time, hour, minute, and seconds, right? Zero indicates that you don't want to print that particular information. So you can explore. Or you can add, extra values also. For example, returns a copy of the local time with nano of seconds altered. Basically, you're altering. So basically, you can increase the time also. Suppose you can do +5, -5. You can increment and decrement. You can do with this functions. You can explore this library. So like this, when you ask the doubts, you will be eager to explore and learn, right? So even I thought that is a valid question. So this is generally you see in a lot of websites where you are getting time detail, minutes detail, hour detail, and seconds, but you're not seeing the nanoseconds, right? So nanoseconds, you're just making it as zero. So it is basically avoiding that seconds. How it is internally working, we don't know, but basically it is avoiding printing the data. So let us continue with our array, right? So now let us read the data dynamically. Now what you saw here is compile time. Here we are trying to read the data dynamically. Basically, we need to enter the size of the array, correct? C dot extent. So here, what I'm doing, try to understand. So based on the whatever I'm typing, you can interact with me. Then what I want to do is the max of the array, right? So how will you enter the array data? Array file equal to c dot next. So what I'm doing till now, I'm reading the digit array, correct? Okay. Next. Now what I want to do is whatever the array that I'm entering, right? Whatever the array that I've entered, I want you to convert that into 2D array, right? So tell me some suggestions. So basically 1D array, I want to convert it into 2D array. How will you do it? Anyone? The question you understood, right? What is the question I asked? Convert 1D to 2D. So I already entered 1D array data. Now what is that you require is to convert that into 2D array. What are the data that you want? Obviously, the 2D array size cannot cross the 1D array size. It has to be within that limitation, yes or no? So you can't cross this particular array size, 1D array size. And for 2D array representation, what is the information I require? Obviously, how to represent in terms of rows and column, correct? So tell me what is the data that I want to read next? Tell me, what is the data you require? Of the 1D assign new array. Okay. Any other answers? So obviously, you require, after this, what do you require? To convert into 2D array, you should enter the number of rows, right? How many number of rows you want? Then we can create int r equal to c dot next int. Then obviously again you require enter the number of columns. Correct? So at this point, what we are doing, entering the number of rows and number of columns, because we are trying to convert our 1D array into 2D array, correct? Now tell me, what should be the size of your 2D array? Now you have to declare a 2D array, right? Obviously. Be the size of your 2D array. Obviously, your 2D array size, array 2. So assume that array 2 is correct. So the 2D array size has to be number of rows and number of columns multiplication, right? You have to multiply R into C. That should be your 2D array size. So what we will do is size 2. So size 1 is for 1D array, size 2 is for 2D array. Because you should not enter the size 2 from the user. The reason is you are trying to convert existing array, 1D array into 2D array, right? So everything should be within that limitation. So here what we are trying to check, whether the size 2, how to check it based on the number of rows that user has entered and number of columns that user has entered. Again, this size should be within this size, correct or not? So if you exceed that, again, you will get the error. So now what we did is found out the size for 2D array. Then what is next? Declare the 2D array, right? And then up to this point, we have not yet declared, right? So how will you declare 2D array? Int array 2, this is 2D array, new int, correct? Tell me what I should pass here. What I should pass here? Number of rows, then number of columns. Got it? Next, what you will do? You have to first check what is our original array. ARR, right? Tell me what I have typed on the screen. Why I have to do this? So what you are understanding here? What is this ARR? It is a 1D array, right? Why it is mandatory? Why I am checking this? Just to check the edge case. What is the necessity of doing this? You should try to convert 1D array into 2D array only when this is true, right? Only when this is false, sorry. If array of length is array dot length is not equal to size 2, then what does it mean? Whether you have entered the number of rows and column beyond the existing array size, right? So obviously conversion is impossible. So this I have to check before doing the conversion, correct? Hope you understood what I have done here. If it is true, so you can exit system.exit. Otherwise, what we have to do, we already created the 2D array, right? Now, what is pending? Let us take one index. Now, what is pending? You have to convert your original array into 2D array. Tell me how will you do it? Anyone? Up to here, I hope you understood what I've done on the screen. Now, what is pending actually? Based on the number of rows and number of columns, you have to copy original array into 2D array, correct? Anyone? Next process is what? Converting 1D values into 2D, correct, right? So to do this, what is the procedure we need to follow? Somebody. Obviously, what is my first value? Number of rows. Correct. So why I'm taking R and J? Because we want to convert number of 1D arrays into 2D array based on rows and column value, right? So first loop should be rows, second loop should be column. Then what is our array name? 2D array name? ARR2, right? So we will copy all the values from 1D array. What is our 1D array name? ARR, right? So we will write here ARR of index. So what I'm trying to do here, whatever array of index is there, that we copied array of 0, we copied into array of 2 of ij. That means at the initial position. Then what I'll do here is I'll try to increment the index because I want to go to the next location, right? So once we did this, what is pending now? We have to print the values, correct? How will you print the values? That is normal loop that you have to use. So let me just copy this as it is. For printing, what I want is 1D to 2D. And here what we have to do, print the elements. There is our data, array of 2, right? Then plus okay. So let us see if it works or not. So hope you understood this logic. So what we are trying to do here, we copied all the index values from 1D array. Suppose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So what is the size of this array? 6 elements, right? Now, suppose assume that I entered number of rows as 2, columns as 3. That means totally 6 elements, 2 cross 3. 2 rows, 3 columns. So what I want in the output is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like this, correct? So to print the output like this, what we are doing, initially array of 0 value, we are storing it array of 2 of 0 comma 0. That means here we are copying. Then we'll increment the index value. This becomes 1. Then what is there at first position? 2. That we are storing it at 0 or I value will be 0 only, j value will be incremented to 1. So we are posting it 0, 1, then 0, 2. So once this loop is terminated, we'll go to for loop, increment r, I, then we'll go to the next row, correct? So basically we're converting 1D value into 2D value. So what I have to enter now, first size of the first array, right? So suppose we enter 10. Let us enter the elements of the first array. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Next, what I'm asking, enter the number of rows. So obviously, this number of rows that I'm entering should be within this overall size 10, correct? So if I enter 4, tell me what should be the column size I have to enter. I've entered already number of rows. Number of rows is 4. What should be the maximum column size? Anyone? Can I give 2? Yes. Okay. So now we have to understand where we are going wrong. Conversion is not possible, I'm getting. So we have to understand where is our error. So 4 cross 2, 8, right? What is the array dot length? Okay. So we are getting 10 only. Elements. Ah, so understood? So it has to be exactly same. That's what the mistake is. What should be the change in the condition? What is the mistake I've done? Can anyone rectify it? When it is not possible, we have two extra elements. So how will I modify this condition? Instead of not equal to 0, greater than size 2. Correct or not? If size 2 is greater than array of length, not equal to is required, right? Suppose if you are trying to do the exact 10 elements. 7, 8, 9, 10, 4, 2. Okay. Now we should understand we have a required space. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Number of rows is 4. Number of columns is 2. Okay. So I hope you are getting the output, how it is printing. So this is first row, second row, third row, fourth row. Mistake again. How many values we are getting? Only 8 values. So obviously last two values are ignored because our array size, 2D array size is only 4 cross 2. That means only first elements I am taking and converting, right? So it depends on the test cases again. So if you really want to take all the values or only the based on the number of elements. So that you have to check before processing. So this is how the questions will be asked. Even if it is simple also, you'll be getting a lot of errors, right? So based on that understanding, you can try to check where is the mistake. Okay. So like this, you should understand how to work with the basics. So if you're able to do this much, then definitely you'll be able to solve your own errors. Okay. So based on this 2D array, so a lot of questions will be asked, right? Based on this 2D array. So I'll discuss one more question, and based on that, I will give you programs in the model. All of you might have heard this question, right? Diagonal sum example. Okay. So the question is what the diagonal sum, right? So can anyone tell me how will you do the diagonal sum? Anyone? So obviously first thing you are entering the array. Then I want array to be of same size. Can I declare array like this? Is it allowed or not? 2D array. So either it has to come before or after. It is not an error, correct? Okay. Obviously, I want to find out the 2D array sum provided it is either an odd matrix or a square matrix. Odd matrix or square matrix means the number of rows and columns should be same. That's why I'm passing n and n here. Suppose if I enter 3, so it has to be 3 cross 3. If I enter 4, it has to be 4 cross 4 matrix. Okay. So next here, obviously, what is the next procedure? Input reading, right? So how will you read the input for n equal to 0? I is less than. Here you need not worry about the number of rows and columns because both of them are same. Next, how will you store the data in the array? Array of ij equal to sc dot next int, correct? You are copying the whatever user is entering on the screen into array of ij. So up to here, all of you know how to read the array values. Next, tell me, how will you do the diagonal sum? Any clue? Any hint? Try to interact. Okay. Suppose let us take one example. So I'm writing the diagram. Tell me what should be the output for this case. Diagonal sum means, so this you have to extract, then this you have to extract, correct? So 9 plus 10, 15, plus 5 plus 3, 8, then 8 plus 7, again 15. So output will be 30, right? Correct. Now, the question was like this. The same question was asked in your exams differently. Now the question is, first let us try to do this. Let us try to submit. Okay. Okay. So I just take these loops instead of typing. Yes. How will you compare the diagonal positions? Right. So 0, 1, 2. This is 0, 1, 2. So what you have to add? This, and this you have to add. Then again, this you have to add, this you have to add, right? For I equal to j, sum equal to sum plus a of ij. Only for I equal to j. Okay, let us try to do that. If I equal to j, what you have to do? Sum equal to sum plus a of j. Okay. Then once we come out of the loop, let's print the value. Let me enter the array size as 3. That means it is 3 cross 3. So I'll enter the elements. Are we getting the output? What else is missing? So Kartikeya, I've applied your logic. Also when j is greater than I. So good. Where I have to apply that logic? Tell me. Also when should you use a or condition or and condition? Siddharth is telling and Kartikeya is telling or. Okay, fine. So let me try both of them. I equal to j and j is greater than I. Okay. So let me try with or condition. Now, if I use or, what is the output we are getting? 9 plus 1, 10, 15, 15 plus 3, 18, correct? So 18 plus 7, so, correct or not? 9 plus 10 plus, again, 7. So what is the output we are getting, guys? one extra value we're getting. The output should be actually 25. So 5 plus 1, 6, 15, 15 plus 3, 18, correct? Then 18 plus 7, 25 should come. So even this logic is also not working. Anyone who would practice this question? What should be the actual logic? What should be the condition? So you have to visualize this kind of questions with the diagrams, right or not? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is your input, right? 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. So you have to multiply, you have to take this one, 0, 0, 0, 1. 0, 0, you have to take, 1, 1, you have to take, 2, 2, you have to take, correct? So that you are already comparing here. Now to get this data, 0, 2 I want, 1, 1 I want, then this also I want, 2, 0 also I want, 0, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2. So this should be your output. So both this diagonal sum and this diagonal sum, both you have to check. That is the question that I've asked. Yes, no one knows. So the same question has been asked. Simple question only, but only if you have a proper practice and understanding, you can apply this kind of logic. So how will you access in the reverse order is the next question, correct? You have to access in this order. What is the condition? Can I use I plus j equal to, yes, only Priya. I plus j equal to n minus 1. Understand this logic? One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Correct? So 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. Now this you will be easily able to access based on this condition when I and j are matches. Now we have to come in this order, right? So what is our initial I value here? 0. J value is also 0. Then equal to n minus 1. So what is our n? 3. 3 minus 1 is 2. So you are not fetching this for the first iteration. So when this condition will be true? When I value is 0, right? And when j value is 2, correct or not? So when the j value becomes 2, so 0 plus 2 equal to n minus 1. That is 3 minus 1 is 2. So this is nothing but 2 equal to 2. Condition is matching. So we're extracting this data, correct or not? 0, comma 2. We have to extract this one. If I plus j equal to n minus 1. So if I do that, let us check what is the output. Getting 25. So 9 plus 1, 15. Plus 7 plus 3. So we are getting exactly 25. Understood? So this is a diagonal sum question. You should be knowing this kind of logics, how to think about these logics, require practice. It requires, manipulation of the indexes. So I plus j equal to n minus 1 will give us the diagonal sum from the right side. I equal to j will give us the diagonal sum from the left side. Okay. Now can anyone tell me what is the problem with this logic? Now this logic didn't work in your company exam. People couldn't match the test case. What is the problem? Obviously, it is giving us the output, but is it going to be enough? Where is the where is the problem in this code? Or if at all, is there no problem? Means you can tell me, so there is no problem in this code. If rows is not equal to columns, okay. That is edge case. Okay, I'm not talking about edge case. Imagine that all test cases are correct only. Very good. So Pranati has given the correct answer. So O of n square, more time complexity. Very good. So I want you guys to analyze your own code like this, time constraint. So though this logic is absolutely correct, 100% genuine, and it is a good code only, but still it is not going to be enough when you attempt the company exams. So whenever you are learning some code, try to check whether it is within the optimization value. That means whether it is a efficient code, right? Because it is not easy to understand them by practicing one or two questions. So if you practice around 30 questions, you will get clarity in the 30, how many are good and how many are bad. That is the next level of requirement that people are asking. So you can't be a good programmer. You have to be a best programmer, right? So that is the expectation from the companies. You can't write some random code and escape. Whether it is efficient or not, they will background, they will verify. Only those people will be selected. Because many people are telling, sir, we have written the correct code only, but still it is not working. Because it won't even show it is a time constraint error. It will just show test case not matched or your code could not be submitted. So that time people will not know the importance of all these things. So your preparation should be, next level. Then only you'll be able to understand these kind of errors and improve on the time complexity. Okay. So the same question again, people tried it in different way. Uh, then they are able to come out of that time complexity issue. Okay. So I'll just give the hint about this. So you can try this kind of questions by keeping in mind, especially when you're working with 2D arrays, keep the time complexity in mind. Okay. Let us take some length. So obviously, you know what is the length of the array. The length of the array is a dot length that we are using. Correct. Next, what I will do for int I equal to 0, I'll go up to length of the array I plus plus. Right. We already have our sum variable. So I will write two sum equal to sum plus array of sum plus I, then length of -1 minus I. Okay. Now just I am doing the sum, correct? By using two separate variables. I mean same variables by writing two separate expressions. So one will access from this right side, left side, another will access from the left side. So you can verify this one. Okay. Now what is the problem, guys? Is it a problem or is it a correct output? Output I am getting here. Diagonal sum is 30 I am getting. Correct. So our output should be 25 only, right? Our output should be 25 only. 159357. It has to be 25 only. So again here in this logic also there is a problem, but advantages, I'm using single loop. So how it works? Length minus 1 minus I. You can try this expression, try to substitute, you will get the answer how this length minus 1 minus I works. Okay. But this also has a certain issue because it is summing the mid value twice. So there was a constraint, edge case. What is edge case? If it is if the matrix is square matrix, then you need not worry because you won't get a mid element. Correct? You won't get mid element. How it is possible? Just say this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16. Suppose this is your matrix. Since it is a square matrix, correct? So I'll be summing this one, this one, this, and this. Then again in this order, 13, 10, 7, 4. So here you won't face any problem because there is no index that is repeated. Suppose if it is a square matrix, if it is not a square matrix, if it is odd matrix, if it's an odd matrix, then there is a problem, right? So what is the problem we will face? If it is odd matrix, what is happening here? You are taking this, and again 7, 5, 3 with the logic whatever I wrote. So you are adding 5 twice, correct or not? You are adding this 5 twice. That's why you are getting the output as 30. But in this case, I should get again 25 only because I don't want to add already added diagonal element, which is 5 is already added when I was accessing from this way. So this has to be ignored when I'm going in this way, correct? So that is the constraint. So once you were able to do it using single loop, still it is not sufficient. Now what is the process? Tell me. So once I do the overall sum, we have to check whether it is a square matrix or an odd matrix, correct? Suppose if it is a square matrix or an odd matrix, how will you check it? Based on the length, of the array. So what is our array length? We have stored in len. Suppose if that len, right, mod 2 equal to 1. So what is that I'm checking? Whether it is an odd matrix or square matrix. Obviously, if it is 5, we'll get the remainder as 1. If it is 4, we'll get the remainder as 0. So I'm checking whether it is an odd matrix or a square matrix. If it is an odd matrix, what we have to do? Tell me. We have to extract the mid element, right? So you have to extract the mid element by doing length by 2. So you'll get the mid position. Then you have already added the overall sum that you have to subtract from the array, correct? So sum equal to sum minus array of mid comma mid, right? So what is this code is doing now? If it is a square matrix, then this will remain as it is. If it is not a square matrix, then this condition will be true. Then overall sum, whatever we added, that from that array, we will subtract the middle value. So middle value, how we will get? N by 2. So that is, suppose if it is 3 is our array size, 3 by 2 is 1, correct? So we will get 1. Then we will access array of 1 comma 1. So we will access array of 1, 1 is nothing but 5. So 30 minus 25, we will get 25 as the answer, correct? So let us try this. Okay, so now are we getting 25? So this is how we should learn when there is a requirement about time complexity. So you can't just learn some random code and think that it is enough. It is not going to be enough. Understood? Any doubt in this logic? So this was the question which again many people couldn't do because of this type of tricky constraint. So you should work hard and try to explore where and how I can improve on the existing code that we are learning. So basically we are doing the overall sum. Then once we do the overall sum, only if it is a odd matrix, we will subtract it by extracting the middle value. Otherwise, we'll keep them as it is. If it is a square matrix, you won't get that middle position, right? Only if it is an odd matrix, you'll get that middle position. Hope you understood this kind of problems, right? So based on this, I'll be adding a few more problems on 2D matrix, right? And again, few more questions based on 1D array also. So I'll give you the hint. Once the questions are ready, I will enable it. So I'm still framing the questions. You can make a note of it. So diagonal sum is already over. I will add this, you can practice. Then matrix, row sum and column sum. So you have to sum the individual row and column of the matrix. Then there is something called as lucky number in the matrix. Okay. So what is this lucky number? So lucky number in the matrix is, or lucky numbers, you can call lucky numbers also. Lucky numbers in the matrix. So lucky numbers in the matrix are such numbers or you can just take single number for no need of confusion. So it has to be largest in its row and smallest. I can say it has to be smallest in its row and largest in its column. Okay, so this is called as lucky number. So what you have to find is you have to find out such number in the matrix which is smallest in its row and largest in its column. It can be any row or any column, but that condition has to be satisfied. Then there is one more important question called as spiral matrix. Okay, spiral matrix. So what do you mean by spiral matrix? Suppose there is a matrix like this, you have to traverse top row, right row, left, right row, right column, then bottom row, leftmost column, you have to print. Suppose if there are any pending rows, then you have to extract them again one by one like this. So basically you are doing the spiraling of the matrix like this. Okay, so that is called a spiral matrix, accessing the row wise elements of the matrix. Got it? These are the few questions that I'm going to give you in Moodle. So try to practice them in the next week. So once the questions are ready, I will be enabling them. So you keep on seeing whether there are any new questions in the Moodle. So as and when the questions are ready, because it takes a lot of time to frame the test case and all these edge cases. So your job is to just keep exploring if there is any new question in the Moodle and try to implement them. For any logical mistakes or like optimization, you can approach me. We will discuss again. Because few people ask me those kind of doubts, right? So Yashwant, you can meet me. I'll tell you what is the problem in your code. Okay, fine. So try to start solving the string questions first. Once they are done, go for the array questions. Fine, I'm already making the questions. So once the questions are ready, on 1 or 2 days, I will enable them. So we'll see on Friday once again. Friday we will continue with the further problem solving and we will start the object-oriented programming. I think you hope you got clarity on how to work with the 1D array and 2D array, how to be careful about the edge cases. So try to think about where your code can go wrong in terms of space complexity and time complexity. Try to reduce the number of loops, not necessarily only if it is a constraint. If there is no constraint, then you can write whatever brute force approach you are understanding. So in that way, if you explore and learn, definitely your knowledge will go to the next level. So we'll see you on Friday once again. Okay, see you.